Do you want to come back dead or alive? You want to come back broken or uninjured? This is a question that you need to make a decision of, and you need to decide now. You need to not put this off any farther. I'm Christopher. Some people call me Greybeard. I'm your pirate guide for Island Park in West Yellowstone. And I've been having a series of thoughts for a couple of weeks now. And this is going to be a bit of a rant, so I'm going to warn you right up front. You need to make some decisions, and you need to make some hard decisions. And we need to have a hard conversation. So I'm going to talk to you a little on the frank side. We're going to talk about a couple of taboos, discuss things that are generally just not discussed or ever spoken of. Certainly not within the tourist area of Island Park in West Yellowstone. But these are things that need to be said. And today's going to be the day, guys. So I'm going to give you a heads up. Your pirate's going to have a rant. This is going to take a few minutes. It's going to be important, but maybe it's going to save your life. As usual, I'm just out in the farms across the street from my house, walking my huskies, having a good time. And I'm going to use this opportunity to talk with you. Last year, over the course of December, January, February, March, I rode with, give or take, 250 total complete strangers. Those of you that are watching this video right now. And I hope this year I'll ride with more than 300 of you. I really deeply enjoy doing that. And it's important that you understand that I'm not sponsored. I'm not working for anybody. I'm not endorsing any products. I'm not receiving any compensation for these videos. This is real important what I'm going to talk about today. So this is just me. This is Christopher expressing his own feelings based on his own experiences of riding with 250 complete strangers in the mountains of West Yellowstone in Island Park last year. First item. Number one, guys. Radios. Okay? Way the hell too many of you showed up to ride with me last year without a radio. And everybody that showed up without a radio had an excuse, had a reason, had a justification. And in my opinion, it's total, complete, 100% bull crap. Okay? You have no business coming out to the mountains, coming out to West or IP, riding on Jefferson or Keg, going up Black Canyon, going on Mount Two Tops, going to Lionhead without a frickin' radio. Okay? Don't tell me they cost too much. Don't tell me they're a pain in the butt. Don't give me an excuse. If you don't own a radio, go buy a dang radio. The most common thing I think I heard was either they're too expensive or I just don't need one. Too expensive? Black Friday is coming up next week, guys. You can go buy one cheap. If you can't find one cheap, buy a used radio. Now why? Chris, I don't need a radio. I'm just coming out to ride trails. Now there's 600 miles of groomed trails and I don't need a radio if I stay on the trail. Yeah, horse crap. Let me tell you about a couple of times I've had some experiences riding those trails where that radio made a huge difference. A couple of years ago, I'm riding up Black Canyon, and I'm with a group, mind you. I'm not even by myself. I'm riding up Black Canyon and I stop my sled on a freshly groomed trail. This is important to understand. On my right-hand side is the mountain, on the left-hand side is the downward slope off the trail. I step off my sled into 6 feet of fresh powder. I went straight down underneath the sled. As I reached up and put my hand as high as I could get, my fingers, not my hand, my fingers reached my seat on the sled. That was all that could be seen. Anybody could drive down that freshly groomed trail and go right past my sled and likely would not see my black gloved fingers on my black seat. They'd just see a sled and say, oh, guy ran out of gas, guy had a problem, guy abandoning his sled, drive right on by. Meanwhile, my head is down at track level and my body is 5 feet below the sled. That radio I had was able to reach out to one of my buddies that I was riding with, and we were wildly separated because we were just on the trail having a good time, and draw somebody back for help. Now that's just best case scenario. Okay, I'm stuck hard. It would have taken me hours likely to climb out of that hole. But I was able to use the radio and get somebody's attention. Worst case situation, you've got somebody who's actually in an emergency and needs help and needs to reach out and get your attention. What kind of emergency? Somebody's gonna get buried in an avalanche? No, that's not what I'm thinking. How about you're out riding in the meadow? You're just having a good old time by yourself You got your group circling around. They're all within, I don't know, quarter mile, half a mile with you. And your sled rolls over on top of you, okay? Maybe you're doing a great bow tie or a re-entry. You know, you're just out there having a good old time, but that sled comes around on top of you, and it's you and the track, and your throttle gets pinched. And maybe you're one of those 1%ers who's not wearing a tether on their sled. God help you, I don't know why anybody does that anymore. I do honestly think that's the stupidest damn thing people can possibly do. If you're riding a sled, put a damn tether on it. But let's say you're the guy who doesn't, or even that your tether gets tangled around your handlebars, which has happened to me, and you're underneath that sled and the throttle gets pinned against a tree or a branch or a rock, and that track is now an inch away from your delicate body. And one of the taboos we don't talk about is that. What happens when your track touches your body? When it slices through your vest, when it slices through your suit, through your mid layer and your under layer, and it peels the skin right off your bones, okay? Does this happen very often? No. Is it rare? You're damn right it's rare. But having that radio is your best chance of reaching out and saying, help! I'm in a world of frickin' hurt and I need help right now, right this moment. Please, guys, come get me. Now, we mostly think about radios for avalanches because we want to let the whole group know there's been a slide. Maybe one of our guys is in the slide or one of our guys is in the slide. On rare occasion, there's actually been people who have had the mountain come down on top of them and have used their radio to talk when they're buried alive. I hope I'm making the point, okay? I know I'm harping on this. It's a big freaking deal. I really, really don't want to see anybody else out here anymore without a radio, okay? Period. End of discussion. Number 2, because I'm not even close to being done yet. Number 2, now let's talk about the beacon. Ah, goodness. The beacon's way more complicated than the radio is. Reality is you're going to use your radio 100 times more than you're going to use the beacon. God willing, you will never, ever have to use the beacon, okay? That's what we hope. But the beacon is the difference between being an asset and a liability. What the hell does that mean? All right. If you go out into the mountains, even on the groomed trails, there are places in West, there are places in Island Park where the side of the mountain will break and wash the trail away. So even though you are on a brand new, touring sled and you're out there doing everything right, just having a great time, you can be driving along a freshly groomed trail and be swept away. I apologize, I'm pulling. My huskies are not happy sitting still. And that side of the mountain will come down and wash you right off the mountain. So even though you're not riding in quote, quote, avalanche terrain, you're in the mountains and things happen in the mountains, guys. And things happen in the mountains and you need to be prepared for that. If you have no beacon at all, you're purely a liability. Imagine what your friends are going to go through if you get swept off and you're buried alive and you have no beacon. Now, if they're trained and they know everything they're doing, maybe they're going to find you. But there's a good chance your buddies that you're riding with are not AV1 certified. They haven't taken all the field classes. They haven't spent days on the snow. They've gone to one of the little 2-hour refresher courses. God bless the refresher courses. They're better than nothing, but don't kid yourself. They're nothing compared to 2 or 3 days on the snow, actually digging, actually probing, actually searching for beacons. But get the beacon. Wear the beacon all the time. Last year, every time we started to ride, we started at the beacon check, and there were many people who showed up to come ride with me who had no beacon. Many of those are the same people who had no radio. So I'm strongly encouraging you, please go get a radio, go buy a beacon. Now, having a beacon reduces the amount of a liability you are, but it doesn't make you an asset until you know how to use the beacon. So yes, I'm a huge advocate of going out and getting trained. Take the time. You can do a 1-day course and get a good idea of how beacons work. You can do a 3-day course and actually get certified. At that point, you're a legitimate, honest to God asset. You can help people. You can keep other people alive. You understand how to do a search, how to do a pattern, how to actually find somebody when there's an avalanche. And more importantly, you'll learn how to not get avalanched on top of. You'll learn how the mountains work and how the snow works and what to look for. So you're aware of where the dangers are and where not to go. All right, those are my first two items. Item number 3 is going to come as no surprise at all, guys. That's a pole. You got to have a probe, man. You see me take my probe out on most every video just to do a snow depth check. But that probe is not for checking snow. That probe is for finding a body underneath the snow, preferably one that's still alive and breathing, and done so in the few enough minutes to get them out alive and healthy. Probes are dirt cheap. There's a lot of really cool probes. I'm actually in the process of ordering a brand new probe from Europe that has a transceiver receiver in the tip of it. This is the latest and greatest piece of technology from Peeps, and it'll allow you to put the probe down, and the probe tip will tell you whether or not you're getting closer and closer to the transceiver, the Avi beacon. All right, number 4, fourth item on my rant today, shovel. Goodness, I can't even imagine going on a sled without a shovel. Not mountain riding, not being out in the woods or anything, but you've just got to have a shovel because you're going to get stuck. Whether you've got a trail sled or a mountain sled or a crossover sled, makes no difference at all. You've got to have that shovel. You will get stuck at some point. Another story. Riding on Black Canyon, imagine that. By myself. What's the rule? We never stop in the middle of the trail, right? Great. So Christopher pulls off the side of the trail. Perfectly beautiful, flat, fresh snow. There's a foot, 2 feet of fresh snow. I mean, just a gorgeous day. I pull over, I take the camera, I get some pictures, have a good time, climb back on my sled, hit the throttle, and boom, I am augured in. I am a foot, 18 inches off the groomed plowed trail, and man, the back of that thing just sank down 2 or 3 feet. Well, it's going to be shovel time. Yes, I can wait and I can hope for some people to come by, but you know what? There are times when I go riding that I don't see anybody the entire day. It happens in IP and West. Sometimes you just get lucky and it's a bluebird, beautiful day with fabulous snow and there's nobody on the mountain. And this happens often, and for me by myself, that means I got some digging to do. I've got to dig a ramp to get the front end down and let that thing climb out. So you need a radio for communications to stay in touch with everybody. You need a beacon so that you can be found and you can go and find others. You need a probe to help you locate exactly where your target is. And you need a shovel because God forbid, should you actually have an avalanche, should you see somebody swept off a trail or swept down the mountain and they get buried, you have to dig. And digging is hard work. Trust me, when you go out for that 1 day or that 3-day course, you are going to dig and you're going to learn how heavy snow actually is. Especially avalanche snow. It is significantly heavier than regular light, dry, fluffy snow. When that Avi breaks and it comes down, the snow heats up, it gets wet, and then that wet freezes hard like cement when it sets up at the bottom. So invest in a good shovel, please. Spend the money. These are 4 basic things, guys. Comms, beacon, probe, shovel. All right, now, the 5th item. And this is at the very end, not at the front, because there's real dangers, in my opinion, associated with this. Item number 5 is the Avi pack. And while a lot of people run right out and get this Avi pack, I think there's a real danger associated with getting an avalanche pack, and that danger is a Superman syndrome. We see people that get the pack, and once they have the pack, they take more risks than they took before. They think that they're more invincible, they have a higher likelihood of surviving an avalanche, so they're willing to take more dangers. Guys, I would suggest the Avi pack be the last thing you buy, and you buy it after you take the 3-day course. And I know this is a little controversial and it's not what most people are preaching, but I really feel that to be the case, and I think there's evidence that bears it out. Don't rush out and spend that $1,000 getting the Avi bag and then go places that you have no business being. Even once you've got it and you've taken the training and you've got the hours and the miles underneath you, man, that Avi bag increases your chances of survival, but don't let it increase your odds of getting caught in the avalanche in the first place. All right, that's what's on my mind today, guys. If you think I'm wrong, by all means, push back. Show me where I'm wrong. I'm calling you out saying you have no business coming out here at all without those 4 items. You know, the Avi bag is optional. I think they're fabulous technology, but that would be the last item on my list, to be perfectly honest. Get that radio, absolute priority. You have no business even riding without a radio. Get the beacon. If you're in the mountains, you need to have a beacon on you. Then add the probe and the shovel. All right, now you're in shape. Go get your training. Get trained, get the Avi bag. You got all 5 things, you're as safe as you're gonna be. Now you just need experience. You need to come out and ride. And I'll let you know this year, I'm going to change how we do the rides, right? I have been challenged by Mike Duffy at Avalanche 1 to do a better job of Avalanche education. So I'm going to try to do some beacon drills and beacon recoveries on every ride we do. If I have the chance, I'm gonna take a beacon and I'm gonna chuck it out in the trees or chuck it in the meadows somewhere and let you guys go out and actually do some drills. I will try to up my game. I'm going to harass those people who show up without radios and harass those people who show up without beacons significantly more than I did last year. But I should also let you know, when you guys show up unprepared, I immediately alter my plans for the day. I don't talk to you about it. I don't say anything about it. But if I had planned on going somewhere that was going to be a little bit more exciting, and I find that the group is unprepared to be in that area, we just don't go, okay? That's all there is to it. Remember, I am not a professional guide. I am not licensed. I am not certified. I am not bonded or insured, and you are not hiring me. I am going riding, and I invite you to come along. You're a tag along. I'm gonna ride no matter what, whether you're there or not, whether you're prepared or not. Makes no difference for me. I simply allow people to come and tag along who haven't been out here or don't have somebody to ride with, so they have a friend. But in return, I'm asking you guys to up your preparedness game. Do a better job, be more prepared, be more ready to come out and have an absolutely freaking spectacular time. I'm Christopher, I'm Greybeard, your pirate guide for Island Park and West Yellowstone, and that's today's rants. Now guys, feel free to push back and tell me I'm wrong.